This is Ballam Rd Dairy Farming by FS Landscaping. It is 457.28 megabytes to download, and the description says, welcome to Ballam Rd Dairy Farming based in northwest England. Geo and crop calendar based from Blackpool, England. 2 owned farms containing 5 cattle sheds and 5 cattle pastures. Pastures have been loaded with 1 year's supply of hay to simulate grazing and to enable milk production. Begin the game with 120 dairy cows and 100 beef cattle. Farm shop and dairy at starting farm. There's no sleep trigger, allowing you to place a doormat and live at any house on the whole map. 6 sell points, 25 fields, and there's 5 custom built cattle sheds and cow pastures. Custom soil map taken from Burke's farm and home farm areas. Contracts installed into the map. All cattle pastures can be sold to allow for placing your own animals. Large buildable area in the second farm. There's a couple of special thank yous there to Alien Jim, Mr. Farquhar and Mafia X Phantom, and then they've put at the end, I hope you all enjoy my first map. So let's go and check it out. And here we are. This is where you start off in all 3 modes facing this bush. So we are going to spin round, so we've got a little bit of a better view. There we go, nice farmhouse. Whilst we have a little discussion, well, not a discussion, me waffling on probably. But anyway, this is supposed to be based on the real life farm of Tom Pemberton. But before you start shouting at the screen, I must admit, hold my hands up, I've not watched any of the Pemberton life farm videos on YouTube, so I don't know how accurate it is or isn't. But what I will say is I googled it, and then I did a Google Maps thingy, and I dropped down onto the road which is behind this bush, and I went along the road as you can, looking at the real life images. And I must admit, the entrance down there, which the public can use I believe for the farm shop, looks pretty good, pretty accurate from what I could see from that road. So obviously, hopefully some of you guys will know how accurate it is or isn't. But moving on from there, this is the map. So not a huge amount of fields on here. There's quite a varied sort of size and shapes, and obviously prices as well. Now there is quite a few areas where we can't really do much with. We'll talk about prices in a second as well. But this is a very good attempt for a first map, I must admit. There's some really cool things in there. Yes, there is a couple of little issues here and there, but what map, you know, comes out and is absolutely perfect? I don't think there has been one. So most maps need an update somewhere along the line, and I am hearing that FS Landscaping is aware of a few issues, and I believe there is an update coming for it. But anyway, this is the map, guys. I am in new farmer mode, so we are up here like so, and in new farmer mode we do start off with quite a lot. Now that looks like quite a lot of blue there, but we have got all these fields. Now they are all grass fields, this one here and these 2 up here. Oh, we do own that one as well. That isn't grass, happy days. But most of them are grass fields. But then again, we have got a big dairy operation going on, so you are definitely going to need your grass for feeding your cows. So yeah, quite a lot of there we own straight away. Now the ones with the numbers on are all individual, so that plot 161, 242, 288, 415, 151, 231, 236, 350, so quite a variation in prices on the field size. Now the area that's got the farm, and there's a lot of cow pastures on here like this and there. If I click on that, that all comes as one piece. You can just about see, hopefully, that is slightly lighter blue. That is 2.4 million that is worth. It also takes in the BGA, so we do start off owning the BGA straight away, which is pretty cool. In terms of the other field prices, like I say, they vary. You've got these smaller ones in a line down here, and they sort of range from 17 grand up to 25 grand. So pretty cheap down there. Then 16s, 93, 94. We got some more expensive ones, 383 over here, and 146 like so. Now you can buy the outside of the map, which takes in all these areas you can see with the brown and the green, but that is 19.1 million. And to be honest with you, if you buy it, I'm not sure how much you'll be able to do anything with. There is a bit of a golf course going on here, and there's a few holes also around this side. So again, I'm assuming that that is what the case is in real life around this farm. There is a golf course around it, which is pretty cool. But that is the map. There isn't any custom crops or anything. We'll stay on here. We'll zoom up. There's no collectibles. We do start off with 3 small greenhouses, which you'll see as we go round. We've got the dairy, which is obviously on the main farm, which again we'll look at. So we start off with that, which is pretty cool. And if I scroll down to the bottom, like I said, we start off owning the BGA. Just a standard, normal BGA by the look of it. So pretty cool. We've got contracts on the other fields. And then moving into the animals, there's a huge list there, which we will sort of get through as we go around the map. There is quite a lot going on in terms of cow pastures and barns. So there's your 100 beef cattle. They are in a pasture, which we will obviously see later. 50 of those and the 50 Angus. Then scrolling down, we've got 120 in one of the cow pastures. So these guys are over this side at the main farm, and these guys are kind of over where the sort of second farm is. They are maxed out with feed, like it says, all the cow pastures, even the ones that haven't got cows in at the moment. If you put them in there, they will have a maxed out feed trough, which does say for a year, so I presume that probably would work. But you can, once it goes down, top them up, but obviously if they are full, you will not be able to put any more in there. In terms of the cow shed ones, they are empty. You will need to fill them up with feed, etc. But I'll talk about that when we get in and around the cows. Some of our equipment is a little bit, needs a bit of repair and not worth a great deal, but we could soon sort that out. Like I say, no custom crops. The crop calendar, like it says in the description, has been adjusted or customized. So we've got a couple of planting windows for some of our crops, which is pretty cool. And that is that bit, I believe. I don't think I've missed anything. So yeah, I'll quickly show you. This cow pasture here is the one that has the 120 Holsteins in. We've got cow barns here, three of there, sorry. Another cow pasture which goes out into here. It'll look a bit better in a minute. Another cow pasture there. Another one here, which is all this area. This is where the beef cattle are in this one. That is absolutely humongous, that one. And then we've got 2 more sheds down here. Now it says obviously beef cattle sheds, but you don't have to put beef cattle in there. You can put your dairy cows in if you wish to. Right, moving on, let's go up into this mode. There is no mods at all, with a slight exception, which I will talk about in a second, which I only found out earlier today, which is quite cool. Yeah, no mods, required mods or anything like that. No mods that are built into the map. So we'll quickly skip through that. If I go to landscaping and painting, this is all pretty standard. You've got your animal mud, asphalt, concrete, dirt, forest ground, grass, dry grass, gravel, rock and granite. So nothing unusual there. And then in the slot count, this is where it gets a little bit interesting. Now the slot count is the same across all 3 modes. The only difference being farm manager and start from scratch, you don't start off owning any land, so you will need to build yourself up. If you do come on here in those 2 modes, the cows are still in those pastures. It will allow you to use the pastures and put animals in, but obviously if you want to do anything else, you're going to need to buy land yourself. Now, someone told me, my good buddy MB Farming, if you download, and I don't know why this doesn't come up as a required mod, but if you download this Merlot Turbo Farmer telehandler, and when you load into the map, if you have it selected, it starts off as part of your starting equipment. Now, you don't have to include it if you don't want to. It just means you will only have one telehandler, because straight away I come on the map and I was having a look round and I wondered why you had two telehandler buckets when you only had one telehandler. And then MB told me about that, so I loaded it in, selected it, and sure enough, it is on our farm, part of the starting equipment. So, two different slot counts for you, and like I say, it is the same across all three modes. If you don't want to load in the Merlot telehandler, it is 412, which is very low. But if you do load in the Merlot telehandler, it's 420, so it's only 8 slot difference. But this is the equipment you have. So, small tractors, we've got 3. We've got the Lintner Lintrac 130, and then we've got 2 Steyr 8150s telehandlers. So you definitely will have the JCB, and if you do want to select it and load it into the map, you will have the Merlot as a starting telehandler. Happy days. Cars, we've got the Lizard 2017 pickup and a Mahindra Treva. Trailers, we've just got the Crampé half pipe. Slurry tanks, we've got the Shooten setup, so we've got the slurry tank and also the distributor that goes with it on the back. Got a side mower. In animals, we've got the straw chopper or blower for putting your bedding into your cows. That is obviously only going to be for your barns. We've got the Lizard MKS, which obviously will hold milk, water, liquid fertilizer or herbicide. And then we've got a feed mixer, which you can make your TMR with for your cows, which is obviously going to be needed. We start off with the Flegel Noah animal transport, so you can transport your animals about. We've got a front loader with a couple of front loader tools. We've got a silage cutter and a pallet fork. And then in telehandlers, we've got a manure fork, 2 buckets and a bell spike. So happy days. There you go. Right, let's move around the farm. So here's our pickup. Here's our Flegel Noah farmhouse. And like it says, there is no sleep trigger, which I like. That means you can go wherever you like on the map, because we do have a farmhouse here. And if I jump over this gate, we've got random little grass areas like this, so you could mow this if you wanted to. If we go over to this side, and this would be the entrance where the public would come in and out to visit the farm shop, which is nice. This gate does open, which is pretty cool, and there is another farmhouse here, so you could start there if you want. Bit of a shame that car's there, but you should be able to squeeze something up in there, like a pickup or a tractor. And then moving on, all this is open. I'm guessing this is supposed to be like the farm shop area. Pretty cool. Ooh, look at those. Nice. Got ice creams at the back. That goes all through out into this area. It is easy to get lost. Pretty much every gate I've come across you can open. You can't open and close these doors though. So apologies if this is a little bit all over the place, this area, because there's a lot going on here and there's a lot sort of on top of each other, but we will get through it. I'm not quite sure what this zone is. Now obviously the dairy is in here. When you tag it up, it appears over the back there, but I'll show you where all the triggers are. Now obviously with the dairy you're going to be able to produce butter. Mine's gone blank now, I'm gonna have to go into it. Cheese and chocolate, there we go. Now I don't know whether they're separated, so one will appear here and the other's over there. Now I did test it. I put milk in because that was the easiest thing to do with having the cows, otherwise I would have required sugar. Now the butter and the cheese appeared here in this spot, so I don't know whether chocolate will appear over here on its own. I wouldn't have thought it would, but it might do. Other than that, I've no idea what that is for. This is where you're going to tip in for your dairy. If you want to manage the production from this sort of area, that is your spanner or wrench for doing that. Like I say, this is going to be a little bit backwards and forwards, so I'm just going to try and do it so it doesn't confuse you too much. And then to tip in for the dairy, like I say, there's a ton of gates. You're just going to have to find your best route in and out. It's going to be this trigger here, because if I just show you down that bit there is triggers everywhere, and it took me quite a long time to sort of suss out what was what. So that is our dairy, and as you can see, it's there on the field info. So we're going to come back up and start again, kind of thing. We do have a shed here, which is a base game one. Now you can open all these doors, but again, this truck is in the way. You can't get rid of that. So if you want to put anything there, you'll have to sort of maneuver it in and out. So you've got that as storage if you want. Currently around the back of the farmhouse, we've got more grass areas here. So what I will do, in fact, I'll open some of these gates because this is the way we're going to go out, and we will go in here. So that is another entrance exit onto the main road. Bear with me. Cool little cattle grid there as well. Right, we'll run up this side and we'll work our way through, because like I say, there is triggers right next to each other and it can be very, very confusing. So this is our first cow pasture. It might be easier to go up into landscaping mode. So these cows will appear and they will come all the way along here and across right up into here, which is cool. Nice big area. Now, first of all, they are going to give you milk. Excuse me. That is your milk collection point. Now, there's currently no animals in this pasture, but it is showing we've got a little bit of milk in there, which is cool. And as you can see, there is some feed in this one. I think actually this is the only one that isn't fully maxed out, but it's got some in there. Now, feed them just there, like so. Now, all of the pastures do have a trough next to it. Now, I believe that's supposed to be water, but there's no icon. If I show you in field info, there's no mention of water, and in none of the animal pastures on here, even the barns. I mean, you wouldn't really expect it so much in the barns, but none of the cow pastures show water in the menus. So you don't need to give them water, I don't think. It seemed to all work when I tested all the triggers earlier. I skipped through a couple of days and we were getting milk, slurry, manure and things like that happening. Obviously not in the pastures, manure. But it doesn't seem you have to give them water. But here's the other thing. I did test the water trigger. I pulled up here with a water trailer, and I did it with the other pastures. It will allow you to load up water. But you know, on some of the, that's the wrong button there, some of the troughs for water, when you fill them up, you can visibly see it filling up. These ones don't do that. So I think you probably are putting in water in there unnecessarily, which is a little bit odd, but that is the way it is. As you can see, we've got equipment all around this end. Now, the dialogue box for this cow pasture is right over here. So that will hold 150 cows. Obviously, it is currently empty at the moment. So there we go. I'm just going to run over this back bit. I think most of this map tour is going to be done on just this main farm area because there is quite a lot going on. So just in through here, this little shed is decorative. We can sell that if you want. We've got first of the 3 greenhouses, small. They are all empty of water, nothing growing yet. So there is the first one across this cool bridge with the river. Now we will move into the well, hectic area, I should say. Right, so here is our Merlot, look guys. So if you load in without that selected, it's obviously not here, and that is on the deck. So that's pretty cool. That is here. It's all nice and dirty for us. Happy days. These are 2 bunker silos. So we've got one there and then one next door, which is pretty cool. This fellow here is called, what was this? The cake bin, which is pretty smart. This acts a little bit like one of the Karma 16s. So it will hold seeds or mineral feed, but it does have a 500,000 litre capacity, and you can have a mixture of both of those products in there, obviously up to that capacity, and then obviously load up your implements from there. So that's pretty cool. Now, Bottom right you can see the field info, so this is the new cattle shed, and we move in. This is going to be your milk collection point. Dialogue boxes here that will hold 125 cows. Now because this is a barn, they appear this side and also this side, like so. Let's open the gates. Before I get carried away, I will turn around another one of our tractors. These aren't bunker silos, they're just kind of storage areas. This is actually the manure collection point for this barn that we're looking at now. As you can see, bottom right, it's got the field info there, but the manure for me just spawned around here, so there you go. You can use this for storage, but you know, you might be driving over a bit of poo to get your things in and out. Right, straw trigger in the middle. Now this is where I found my first issue. Excuse me, got a bit of a tickle in my throat. It's not a huge issue, but I loaded up that half pipe trailer with a load of TMR. Come in here, I drove all the way through here, and it's exactly the same for that barn across there, which we'll see in a second. I could not get the feed trigger at all to appear. I was driving all around these two barns. It was only these two barns I had an issue with. Couldn't get it to happen, just would not happen. The straw triggers, perfect. Drove in with a trailer full of straw, yeah, happy days. Filled up either side, brilliant. Could not get the feed trigger to come up with the trailer. Now again, thanks to one of my other awesome subscribers, Mikey. He had a little play around, we was chatting on Discord. He tried it with the feed mixer, which we do get, which is just there, and it works. But because this feed mixer only unloads from one side, it's not a double-sided one, you've got to make sure you're facing the right way. So for this pen, it's going to be on this side for the feed. So if you come in with that feed mixer, drive in from this side in like this, and it will unload. Awesome. But if you have got one that will you know, you swap that one out and get another one that will unload from both sides, then you should be okay. But there you go, that is that barn there. We've got a couple more triggers to do with this barn around here, so I'll spin round so you don't get confused with all the things. This is going to be your slurry collection point for this barn, and there's a big slurry tank there, but you don't have to go near that. And if I spin round, this is how close things are. This icon here is the slurry collection point for this barn. Okay, right, into this one, and this is the old good cattle shed. So again, in here, straw triggers, no problem at all. Feed trough is going to be this side, so if you drive straight in from this side with that, happy days, it will work. Awesome. Right, over here, this is your manure collection point. Again, if you look at bottom right, you can see the field info, and for me the manure sort of appeared here in a line. But if you pull up over to this area here, it will give you a filling option, and you can just fill up. Your milk for this barn is just here, and then your feed, your dialogue box is, I think it's more here actually, is it? There we go. This will hold 48. Obviously it is a smaller pen or barn, and they will again appear either side of those sort of railings, fences. Right, moving on. I hope you haven't switched off yet, but it's honestly, it fried my brain trying to work out some of these triggers. Now I haven't tested every single thing on this map, but you know, there we go. Right, so feed trough for this pasture is just here. That is completely maxed out. Again, if I move in, ignore the old good cattle shed, it's because we're too close. That has got 100,000 litres of hay in, but obviously no animals. Your dialogue box is here, that will hold 150 cows, and we've got a milk collection point as well there, so you can have a lot of milk on this map. It's insane. Now I'm going to go up into landscaping mode, and I'm just going to show you the room these cows have got in this pasture. So it's going to be all round here that they can roam, which is cool. And then this is another pasture. This is the one with the 120 Holsteins in. Pretty similar scenario. In fact, I better go down. I was going to drive around here, but we'll run down, shall we? And we'll take in some of the beautiful scenery. But yeah, I'm pretty impressed with this as a first map. I know a lot of people bring out maps and it is their first go and we don't know about it, but because they've mentioned it's their first attempt, pretty impressive. Again, 150 cows, they're all out here happy. Again, water trough there, it will take it, but I don't think you need to. That has got a lot of hay in, and then your milk collection point there, you've got 90 litres in there already. So back out of there, and we have got one more cow barn to look at. Excuse me, I don't know why I've got a really croaky voice today. So back out of this area, as we know, we've got another gate there. Look, this is the tip in for the dairy. You can open all these gates, you can open this gate because you've got to get that Mahindra out. This is the next barn. This was, I can't remember what this one was called, side shed was it? There we go, the side shed. So again, it's got some milk in there, we've got a bit of slurry there as well, but we haven't got any animals in. But the dialogue boxes here will only hold 32, and again they will appear in that barn there. Gate will open. The the feed trigger is here. That had no problem at all. Again, I went along there and struggled with the straw, but I managed to get the straw just backing in the trailer just inside the gate, so that loaded up, and then your straw all appears in here. You can just see little bits there, but your cows will appear in there. Now this one is going to be quite tight because you've got to get in, and this first trigger here is for your slurry, and that one is going to be for your manure, as you can see bottom right. As for the milk, if we go round this way, and again we can open both these gates if we want to. Lots of gates. Your milk collection point is in here, so you have to come into this area. But like I say, you can open up pretty much every gate. All these little wooden doors open. So much going on. But I think finally that is that area. I'm just going to double check that I haven't missed anything. Oh, I have missed something, and that is literally where we are now. That is the Pemberton Farm shop, which obviously you can sell your produce. So even when the cheese and butter spawned in there, I brought it over here and you can sell it there. So you can sell quite a lot of stuff there. But I think that is all that farm. So we're going to run back around the front. We're going to grab the pickup and we're going to get going, because obviously that did take quite a while to get through that, but it was necessary, I feel. Because I did have a couple of people mentioning to me, look, it was a bit tricky with the triggers, so I'm hoping some of you have found that useful. Right, straight across the road, I'm going to open this gate and hope we don't get run over or hit a car. Sorry, sir. So straight away inside this gate we've got a milk collection point. This is going to be another cow pasture. I'm just going to quickly drive over here, because the other side of this hedge is another small greenhouse. You have got a gate there, but you can come in off the road there. It's a little bit sort of overgrown in terms of the grass, etc., but another small greenhouse there. As you can see, there's a lot of houses around on this map, so I like the fact that you've got the choice to sleep wherever you like. Right, these will obviously appear all in around here. Awesome. Again, you've got a water trough there. It will take the water, and as you can see, the feed trough with the field info, that is maxed out, 135,000. Over here we've got our dialogue box, like so. That will hold 150 again. We're going to go out this way. Jump in there. A lot of gates going out this way, but it's up to you which way you come in and out. They do open different ways as well. So cool little sort of bridge, I guess, and into here. Now we do own some of these areas, and obviously we don't own some of them as well. As you can see, all these sort of round here we don't own, but in front of us and this side we do own those, and plenty of grass there. It's obviously not the perfect grass. You could always plough it all through, replant it, or put a field in if you want. There is a lot of fences around a lot of the fields and areas. You can't seem to get rid of those, which is a little bit of a shame on some things. Those smaller fields that I showed you at the start, down the sort of bottom near the second farm, they've got fences around them. Could be a little bit tight and a little bit of a shame, because obviously you can't then join those fields up together because you can't get rid of the fences. We've got a bit of life going on up here though. We are going to cut down this way. That is our field on the left. Awesome, that looks like it's ready to go. Obviously it might be a completely different crop depending on what you load up into. Just in here we've got a cool area. It's obviously another farm. It looks like it's supposed to be cows in there. Don't know if these are little dog kennels or chicken coops, but they are awesome. Look at them, tiny, very cool. But we've got a sale point just here, guys, and this is the where are we, Homestead Farm sale point. So not too bad. We'll back out. A little greenhouse there. Obviously you can't do anything with that, it's just decorative. Oh, I need to be on this side of the road. Too used to driving on the other side on map tours and whatnot. So yeah, it's pretty cool having another UK map. Always welcome. I know they're not everyone's cup of tea, but we're going to nip back down into this route because this is the way we need to go. I think there's some more gates to open through here. You don't seem to get any traffic coming through these sort of tracks, these roads. That we own as well. That is a huge area with some trees in the middle. That track there with a couple more gates leads down into one of our grass fields just there. And this is the beef cattle pasture. As you can see, there's some in there. Absolutely huge. Randomly there's a fence running through here, but it doesn't go all the way down. But look at the size of this pasture. It goes all the way down here. We will stop in here. There is various gates. There's one there which we will nip in a second. There's one up by the truck where we just jumped out. It goes all the way down to here, and that's the second farm which we'll look at in a bit. Absolutely humongous. So a gate there to get in that side. There's a gate there for that pasture if you want to go in that way. And then we need to jump out because we've got to open these double gates. Straight on. Lovely sunflowers there. And on the left hand side is the BGA, which, like I said earlier, we start off owning. So you've got all your triggers, your ins and your out sort of areas. Decoration going on here, and two big bunker silos like so. A bit of junk. Now obviously because we do own this BGA, you can sell it if you want, and you can even sell off these bunker silos if you want to. And like it says, you can get rid of all the pastures if you want to, but I think it's going to be one of those maps where just leave as is, just get on here and have a bit of fun. Anyway, let's swing right. We'll go down past the cow pasture, and we will stop at these gates here. Or this gate, should I say, opens in. And we run up into here, and weirdly enough this one does have a water symbol, but again no mention of it on the menu, animal menu, or on the field info there. But that is maxed out as well, 350,000 litres of hay, like so. Awesome. Ooh, steady. Can we shut that? Yes, we better shut that, because I think he was looking for a quick exit then. And then this is an example of the golf course. This is pretty cool. Look, someone's walking there. Look, got your flags, and you can easily sort of distinguish the sort of fairways and the greens of each other. Some of them have got bunkers on, but I think that's pretty cool. Nice touch. Right, moving down, we've got 2 more triggers to look at in terms of this big beef cattle pasture. So we'll jump out, ignore any of these barns yet, we'll come to them in a second, because like I said earlier, I do not want to confuse you. These wooden posts are absolutely stunning, aren't they? Dialogue box for the beef cattle pasture. 250, obviously we've got 100 in there, 50 of each. Now this doesn't always have to have beef cattle in there. If you don't want to, you can clear them out. Obviously they're not going to give us milk, but we do have a milk collection point just there, so if you want to go completely all dairy, you certainly can. And then we are now going to head into this second farm. I'm going to go down a little bit because we've got some trees here. And there is the third of the small greenhouses, so one down this side. I will stop there, open that gate in preparation. First of all, I'm going to just show you this area. I'll jump this gate. We've got 2 sheds here for storage. Now this one could be a little bit tight getting out of there with equipment. You might want to just use that for smaller equipment if need be. And we'll jump that. There is our telehandler. So this side is just going to be for like storage, whatever you want to do. Put some bales in there maybe. But this is a bunker silo, this one. And then moving into here, if we look at the field info, this is the bigger beef cattle shed. There is our dialogue box. That will hold 50 cows. They will appear in there, that side, like so. Feed and straw triggers are in here, both are in here. I don't know why that one's there, but it will just unload in this zone. Down the end here, this is milk collection point. So again, although it says beef cattle shed, if you want milk, you put your dairy cows in there, happy days. Dialogue box for the smaller one, 30 cows. That should come up. There we go, in the middle there, smaller beef cattle. Again, they will appear that side. Feed and straw triggers again inside. The only thing I would say is I used the half pipe trailer, and where this is a smaller barn, it hit the roof and it was going mad, so just be careful, something to note there. And again, milk collection point, and this actually leads out into the end of that beef cattle pasture. As you can see, we are there. Now we do have a slurry collection point here for the smaller cattle shed, and this is a slurry collection point for the bigger cattle shed. Their manure will appear here, so both of their manures will be in here if you are using both, that is. And to collect the manure, just there for that icon, so happy days. So again, if you're using that to store equipment, you could find yourself trying to get it over a big pile of steaming poo-poo. Anyway, let's get going. Now this is going to be the big placeable building area that it mentions in the description, because we do own that area. If I click on it, we are here. All this area here we don't own, which you'll see if I go up into landscaping mode. So it's all this, and then going through all this middle bit here where this sort of pond is. We do own this grass field here though. And then these are all those smaller fields that I showed you, and like I say, they are fenced in individually. They do have gates leading to them. And then that is one of our grass fields. Look at the size of that. You're going to get a ton of grass up there. Unbelievable. Let's quickly show you what we did. So we went all around the farm, didn't we? Done all the cow pastures. Went across the road, small greenhouse, that pasture. We came up there like that, into that sale point, back out, all the way along there, into the BGA, back out, into the beef cattle, all the way down and in. And we're now at this farm, and we're going to carry on all the way down. We're going to do all this like so, and then we are going to finish up over here, which is the grain mill. So we need to cut down through the back of this farm area, I guess, and these fields. And head on out, and it's a little bit sort of built up over this way as well. Got quite a few houses going on. Just try not to hit those big rocks. There is a few trees overhanging here and there like that, and bushes poking out through the fences, but that is kind of what you get in the UK, so it is pretty true to life. Cool little bridge going over the river, I like that. So let's go left, and this is the main road again, so if we were to carry on all the way up we would eventually come to our farm again, the main one. This is the restaurant sale point on the left hand side, and then if I quickly nip in here, this is done pretty well as well. This is obviously the part of the golf club, because if I go up in the landscaping again you can see all the golf course going on round here, which is pretty cool, like so. So yeah, if you did buy those areas, I don't know really what you'd be able to do with them. Those flags, poles are still going to be sat there. You're not really going to be able to get rid of those. You may be able to work your way around them with other things. Anyway, we are at the golf club cafe, which is a sale point just in there. Cafe, however you say it. And then if we swing a left on the right hand side, we've got the fuel station, which is nicely done. And if we go left again, all these houses. And then into here. This is our spinnery. Happy days. And if we go this way and into here where all the cars are parked, they're obviously in the supermarket, which is just here. That's the sale point supermarket. And if we cut across the car park, oh, they haven't parked very well, have they? Just noticed that all these cars are nicely parked. I don't know what happened there. I guess one of them just parked like it and decided to start a trend. Right, we are now heading into the shop area, the store. So there's your icon. If you use it like that, and round the back we do have a workshop trigger, which is nice, just here, like so. As you can see, it does work. Now your reset point, or if you buy, lease anything, will appear down this far end, just about where that sort of digger excavator is. Got a bit of junk going on there, that's pretty cool. Ooh, we do get traffic coming down this way as well. I'm just going to cut them up. In here we do have the animal dialogue box, or the animal dealer should I say. There's your dialogue box. That is going to throw up a ton of cow pastures and sheds, as we know. So that's pretty cool that that is there. Almost opposite we have got the oil mill, which is just in there. That's where you can buy it, around the back, and you tip in, and then your products will appear there. And all we've got is one thing left to see, and that should be the grain mill. So if we cut through here, some more houses. I like the fact that the houses all sort of varied in style. Nice looking river again, nice stone walls. I like this brick archway kind of thing here. Now I think this is supposed to be like a long drive up to a big stately home, because there is one up here, but it's a little bit of a shame the way it's been done, if I'm honest. I'll quickly show you. There's some people. Oh, there's that old lady. She creeps me out the way she walks. Ugh. Don't like it. There is a big stately home, which looks very cool, I think. It's a little bit of a shame how this road finishes. I will show you in a second. We will just nip in here. This is the grain mill. It's a little bit tight in here. It's tip in there, products out there, usual thing. It's the base game one. So yeah, I'm going to jump over here. This is the road that leads up, but I don't know if you notice, a lot of the roads just kind of end like that. They've got a bush across them, but we can. I drove all the way in here, it allowed me to, and then, I mean, it would have been nice if this had been sort of opened up a bit. We had some sort of courtyard. That would have been pretty cool, because that's quite a nice, you know, building that. I quite like that. But that is the map, guys. That is Ballam Rd Dairy Farming by FS Landscaping. So yeah, we came across the back here and we did all this across there, and that is it. We're finished. Hope you stuck with me. There was a lot to get through at the main farm, and I appreciate it if you have stuck with me. Hopefully answered a few questions and hopefully helped you from having to spend a lot of time trying to find out triggers. But if you have enjoyed it, guys, please hit that like button, and if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and don't forget to smash the bell so you don't miss any future videos of mine. I've been Farm Sim Snowy. Stay frosty.